3 days passed quietly on Kepler 442b. The research station hummed with activity as scientists from different worlds worked together. In the morning, Zentari researchers studied crystal formations. In the afternoon, Aquarian engineers tested new engine designs. Humans coordinated between the teams and Vorthak miners extracted samples from deep underground. Lieutenant Park Minji walked through the main laboratory, checking on the day's progress. Dr. Kex, still slightly purple from his coffee experiment, waved one of his forearms at her. "Lieutenant, the crystals are more powerful than we thought. Watch this." He activated a small crystal fragment in a containment field. The air around it shimmered. Minji's communication device crackled with static. "Interesting," she said. "It affects electronic signals." "Not just affects," Dr. Kex explained excitedly. "It blocks them completely. This small piece can disrupt communications in a 50-meter radius. A larger crystal could affect entire star systems." Minji frowned. "That could be dangerous if it falls into the wrong hands." "Don't worry. The crystals are very rare, and we only allow approved researchers to study them." But Minji's security training made her cautious. She made a note to increase patrols around the crystal storage areas. In space above the planet, General Thrak's unmarked ships moved into position. His strike team wore black armor with no identifying marks. Their weapons were older models that could not be traced to the Vorthak Empire. "Status report," Thrak demanded. "Crystal placement complete, General," reported Captain Nex. 6 large crystals positioned around the research station. When activated, they will create a communication dead zone extending 100 kilometers in all directions. And the arbiters? Their quantum networks show normal monitoring in this sector. They suspect nothing. Thrak's yellow eyes gleamed. "Perfect. Begin Phase 1. The crystals activated simultaneously. A wave of interference spread across the region around Kepler 442b. Communication signals died. Quantum networks flickered and went dark. For the first time in decades, a part of the galaxy became invisible to the arbiters. On the research station, alarms began ringing. "What's happening?" Dr. Kex called out as his equipment failed. Minji tried her communicator. Nothing but static. She ran to the main communication center where Sergeant Park Dahoon was working frantically at the controls. "All signals are jammed," he reported. "I can't reach the orbital platform or send messages to the Federation." "Equipment failure?" Minji asked. "No. This is deliberate interference. Someone is jamming us." Through the station's windows, Minji saw lights in the sky, ships approaching fast. "Too fast for a friendly visit. Sound the alert," she ordered. "All personnel to emergency stations. This is not a drill." The first attack came without warning. Energy blasts struck the station's outer shields. The building shook as defense systems activated automatically. "Pirates!" someone shouted. "We're being attacked by pirates." But Minji knew better. She had studied military tactics. These weren't random pirates. The attack patterns were too organized, too professional. This was a military operation. Black armored figures landed outside the station using personal flight units. They moved like soldiers, not criminals. Minji gathered her security team in the main corridor. "Sergeant Dahoon, take 3 men and guard the crystal storage. Private Lee Junho, escort the civilians to the emergency shelters. Private Nam. Suji, help me secure the main entrance." The attackers used advanced breaching equipment to cut through the station's armored doors. When they entered, Minji got her first clear look at them. Vorthak. She was sure of it. The height, the way they moved, the tactical formations. But why would Vorthak attack a Federation research station? "This is Lieutenant Park Minji of the Federation Security Force," she announced over the station's communication system. "You are attacking a peaceful research facility in violation of galactic law. Surrender now, and you will be treated according to the War Crimes Treaty." The only answer was more weapons fire. The battle lasted 30 minutes. Minji's small security team fought bravely, but they were outnumbered 5-1. The attackers had better weapons and more experience. During the fighting, Minji focused on protecting the civilians. When the attackers cornered a group of young researchers in the cafeteria, She led a desperate charge to save them. Her team managed to evacuate 12 scientists, including 3 younglings who were visiting with their parents. But the cost was high. Sergeant Do-hoon was wounded, Private Lee Junho was captured, and Minji found herself surrounded in the crystal storage room, protecting the most valuable research materials. "Give up, human," said the lead attacker in accented Federation standard. "You cannot win." Minji recognized the voice, Captain Nex of the Vorthak military. She had studied his file during her training. "I know who you are," she said. "This isn't piracy. This is an act of war." "War?" Captain Nex laughed. "There is no war here, just criminals stealing valuable crystals. When investigators arrive, they will find evidence of human pirates. Very unfortunate." Minji understood the plan now. The Vorthak would steal the crystals and blame humans for the attack. With communications jammed, there would be no witnesses to tell the truth. But they had made one mistake. Before the attack began, Minji had activated her personal emergency beacon. It was a new piece of human technology that used quantum entanglement to send distress signals. Unlike normal communications, it could not be jammed by conventional means. The beacon was connected to her father's personal receiver. Every few minutes, it sent a brief signal containing her location and status. The Vorthak didn't know about this technology because humans had developed it in secret for their own military use. "You will come with us for questioning," Captain Nex said. "You have information we need about human military capabilities." Minji raised her hands in surrender. She had no choice. Her team was beaten and the civilians were safe. But she knew help would come. Her father would receive her beacon signals and know something was wrong. The Vorthak took her to their ship, along with 3 other prisoners. As they lifted off from the station, Captain Nex removed his helmet. His scarred face showed satisfaction. "Take them to the interrogation facility," he ordered. "Use whatever methods are necessary. The crystals have made us invisible to galactic law. We can do anything we want here." The ship flew toward the dark side of Kepler 442b, where General Thrak had prepared a secret base. There, hidden from any possible rescue, the Vorthak would test their new freedom from Federation rules. On the research station below, the surviving scientists huddled in the emergency shelters. The attack was over, but the building was badly damaged. Dr. Kex's purple fur had turned white with shock. "They took Lieutenant Park and the others," he whispered. "What will they do to them?" Nobody wanted to answer that question. In space, the quantum crystals continued their work. The interference field remained strong, keeping the area hidden from the arbiters. As far as the galactic monitoring systems could tell, nothing unusual was happening in the Kepler system. But 60 light-years away, on the Federation flagship Harmony's Dawn, a small device in Commander Park Jin-woo's quarters began to beep softly. The quantum-entangled emergency beacon was working perfectly, sending its desperate message across the void. Minji was in trouble, and no one else in the galaxy knew. The emergency beacon in Commander Park Jin-woo's quarters continued its quiet beeping through the night. At first, Jin-woo thought it was a system malfunction. The device had never activated before. But when he checked the readings, his blood turned cold. The beacon showed Minji's location moving away from the research station. Her vital signs indicated extreme stress. The signal pattern meant only one thing. She was in serious danger. Jin-woo rushed to the bridge, still wearing his sleeping clothes. Lieutenant Kim Soo-jin looked surprised to see her commander at this hour. "Sir, is everything all right?" "Set course. For Kepler 442b immediately. Maximum speed." "Sir, we're scheduled to meet the Andorian ambassadors tomorrow morning. Cancel it. This is a family emergency." Jin-woo's voice was sharp with worry. "How long to reach Kepler?" Kim Soo-jin checked the navigation computer. 18 hours at maximum warp, but sir, shouldn't we contact the research station first?" Jin-woo had already tried. Every communication attempt failed. No response from the station, the orbital platform, or any ships in the system. Complete silence. "Wake up my personal crew. Tell them to prepare the Soul's Pride for immediate departure." Soul's Pride was Jin-woo's private ship, much smaller than the Federation flagship but faster and better armed. He kept it for personal missions and family visits. Within an hour, his trusted team was ready. Pilot Kim Hyun-woo had served with Jin-woo for 15 years. Engineer Lee Sora could fix anything that broke. Medic Choi Dae-ho had saved Jin-woo's life, twice during their military service. "What's the situation, Commander?" Kim Hyun-woo asked as they launched from the flagship's hangar bay. "Minji is in trouble. Her emergency beacon is active, but I can't reach the research station." Lee Sora frowned at her instruments. "That's strange. I'm not getting any signals from the Kepler system at all. No communications, no navigation beacons, nothing." "Equipment failure?" suggested Choi Dae-ho. "Across an entire star system? Unlikely." Jin-woo studied the readings. As a former Special Forces officer, he recognized the signs of deliberate interference. The Soul's Pride raced through hyperspace while Jin-woo analyzed the beacon data. His daughter's location had stopped moving on the planet's dark side. Her vital signs showed she was alive but under severe stress. 18 hours, he muttered. Too long. Anything could happen in 18 hours. When they finally reached Kepler 442b, the sight that greeted them was worse than Jin-woo had imagined. The research station's lights flickered weakly. Debris floated in orbit. Several ships had been destroyed. "My God," whispered Kim Hyun-woo. "What happened here?" Lee Sora ran scanner sweeps of the area. "I'm detecting 6 large quantum crystals positioned around the planet. They're generating massive interference patterns." Jin-woo understood immediately. "That's why we couldn't communicate. The crystals are jamming all signals in this region. But who would do this? And why?" Before anyone could answer, a damaged Federation shuttle limped toward their ship. Dr. Han Min-seo, the research station commander, appeared on their screen. His face was pale with shock. "Commander Park, thank the stars you're here. The station was attacked 6 hours ago. My daughter. Where is she?" Dr. Han's expression grew grim. "Lieutenant Park was taken prisoner along with 3 others. The attackers claimed to be pirates, but..." He hesitated. "But what? They fought like military professionals, and they knew exactly what they were looking for. They took our most valuable crystal samples." Jin-woo docked with the damaged station and boarded immediately. The corridors showed signs of intense fighting. Blast marks on the walls, emergency lights flashing, the smell of burned electronics in the air. Dr. Han led him to the security office, where they reviewed the attack recordings. The images were blurry due to the interference, but Jin-woo could see enough. "Vorthak," he said grimly. "These aren't pirates. This is a Vorthak military operation." "Are you certain?" Jin-woo had fought against Vorthak forces during the border wars 10 years ago. He knew their tactics, their equipment, their fighting style. Absolutely certain. But why would they attack a Federation research station? The answer came from an unexpected source. Dr. Kex, still purple and shaking from his ordeal, approached them with a data tablet. "Commander, I've been analyzing the crystal interference patterns. These aren't random. The crystals have been positioned to create a perfect surveillance dead zone. What does that mean? The arbiters can't see what's happening here. Their quantum networks are completely blocked. As far as galactic law enforcement knows, this system doesn't exist right now." The implications hit Jin-woo like a physical blow. If the arbiters couldn't monitor the system, then Federation laws didn't apply. The Vorthak could do anything they wanted without consequences. "Where did they take the prisoners?" he asked. Dr. Han activated a holographic map of the planet. Sensor readings showed their ship heading toward the dark side. There's nothing there, but rocky terrain and deep caves. Lee Sora studied the readings from her portable scanner. "I'm detecting artificial structures in that region. Hidden, but definitely there." Jin-woo's emergency beacon continued to provide updates on Minji's location. She was alive, but her stress indicators were climbing. Whatever the Vorthak were doing to her, it was getting worse. "We need to contact Federation Command," Dr. Han suggested. "Request immediate military assistance." "With what?" Jin-woo pointed at the communication console, which showed only static. "The interference is too strong. Even if we could get a message out, it would take days for help to arrive. Then what do we do? Jinwoo was quiet for a long moment, thinking. He had spent his career following Federation laws and protocols. He believed in the system, in proper procedures, in working within established channels. But his daughter was being held by war criminals in a place where galactic law couldn't reach. Every minute of delay meant more suffering for her. I need to see the attack site, he said finally. They took a transport to the main battle area. Jinwoo examined the blast patterns, the weapon signatures, the tactical positions. His military training told him a story that confirmed his worst fears. The Vorthak hadn't just attacked the station. They had tested their weapons on prisoners. Scorch marks on the wall showed where energy blasts had been fired at close range. Not to kill, but to cause pain. They're torturing the prisoners, he said quietly. Choi Dae-ho found something worse. Medical scanner readings showed traces of Vorthak neural probes in the detention area. Commander, these readings indicate systematic torture. They're using advanced interrogation techniques to extract information. Jinwoo's hands clenched into fists. His daughter was in the hands of beings who saw torture as a legitimate military tool, and because of the crystal interference, the galactic authorities that were supposed to prevent such crimes couldn't even see what was happening. He faced an impossible choice. Follow Federation protocol and wait for proper authorities to handle the situation, or take matters into his own hands and violate the very laws he had helped create. Kim Hyunwoo saw the conflict in his commander's eyes. Sir, what are your orders? Jinwoo looked at the beacon readings again. Minji's vital signs were getting worse. Time was running out. Get me a secure channel to Earth, he said finally. I need to contact some old friends. Sir? If the galaxy can't see what's happening here, then the galaxy can't judge what I do about it. His voice was calm, but his eyes were hard as steel. I'm going to get my daughter back. The decision was made. Commander Park Jinwoo, respected Federation officer and architect of galactic peace, was about to become something much more dangerous, a father with nothing left to lose. Old military network. The secure quantum channel reached Earth despite the interference, connecting him to people he hadn't spoken to in years. Captain Yu Taik answered first. The retired Marine had served with Jinwoo during the border wars. His scarred face appeared on the screen, showing concern. Jinwoo? What's wrong? You look terrible. They have Minji. Vorthak war criminals are torturing my daughter, and the Arbiters can't see it happening. Yu Taik's expression hardened. Tell me everything. Jinwoo explained the situation quickly. The quantum crystals, the surveillance dead zone, the evidence of systematic torture. Yu Tak listened without interruption. How many prisoners? Yu Tak asked. 4 that we know of. Maybe more. Guards? Unknown. Probably a full military unit, maybe 50 soldiers. Yu Tak nodded slowly. I can be there in 12 hours. Dr. Song Na-young is on Luna Station. She can reach you even faster. Dr. Song Na-young had been the Federation's top psychological warfare specialist before retiring. She understood how different species thought, how they fought, what they feared. And Bae Wanho? Jinwoo asked. Still working for Federation intelligence. I'll contact him. Tech specialist Bae Wanho was a genius with electronic warfare. If anyone could turn the Vorthak's own technology against them, it was him. Jinwoo, you. Taik said seriously. You know what you're asking. If we do this, we'll be breaking Federation law. The law isn't working here. My daughter is being tortured while the galaxy's police force sits blind and deaf. Then we do this the old way. The human way. 6 hours later, Jinwoo's team had grown. Dr. Song Na-young arrived in a fast courier ship, bringing advanced psychological warfare equipment. Bae Wanho came with electronic warfare devices that could hack Vorthak systems. They gathered in the Soul's Pride's conference room to plan the rescue. On the table lay detailed maps of the Vorthak facility, built from scanner, data, and orbital observations. The base is in a deep canyon on the planet's dark side, Jinwoo explained. Natural cave system, reinforced with military-grade barriers, perfect for hiding from surveillance. Dr. Song studied the psychological profiles of Vorthak military units. They respect only strength and fear only overwhelming force. They see other species as weak because we follow rules. So we show them what humans are like when we stop following rules, Utek said grimly. Bei Wanho worked on his electronic equipment. I can disrupt their communications and weapon systems, but only for short periods. Vorthak technology is more resistant to hacking than most species. We don't need long, Jinwoo said. Just enough time to get the prisoners out. But Dr. Song shook her head. That's not enough. If we just rescue the prisoners, the Vorthak will try this again somewhere else. They'll know they can create surveillance dead zones and commit war crimes without punishment. What do you suggest? We make an example. We show them that even in a dead zone, even when the arbiters can't see, humans will find them and stop them. The plan they developed was unlike anything the Federation had ever seen. While other species fought with honor codes and predictable tactics, humans understood that sometimes you had to become the monster to stop a monster. They would not just rescue the prisoners. They would turn the Vorthak facility into a nightmare. The attack began at midnight planet time. Bei Wanho's electronic warfare shut down the facility's external sensors. The Vorthak guards saw nothing until shadows started moving in the darkness. Jinwoo and his team used stealth technology borrowed from Federation Black Ops programs. They moved like ghosts through the canyon, placing psychological warfare devices that would make the Vorthak soldiers hear things that weren't there, see movement in empty corridors. Phase 1 complete, Utek reported through their private channel. Perimeter secured. The Vorthak facility had 4 levels built into the canyon wall. The top level housed guard barracks. The second level contained command and control. The third level held equipment and supplies. The bottom level was where they kept the prisoners. Dr. Song's psychological weapons activated first. Vorthak soldiers on guard duty began hearing sounds from their own nightmares. In Vorthak culture, the worst fear was being hunted by invisible predators. The devices made them feel exactly that. Unknown contacts in Sector 7, a Vorthak guard, reported nervously. Investigate, ordered the duty officer. But when the guards went to investigate, they found nothing. Only darkness and the growing sense that something was watching them. Bei Wanho's next attack was more direct. He hacked the facility's environmental systems, making lights flicker and doors open randomly. The temperature dropped 10 degrees, making the cold-blooded Vorthak sluggish and confused. System malfunction in multiple sectors, the duty officer reported to his commander. Recommend full alert status. General Thrak, monitoring from his command ship in orbit, grew suspicious. It could be sabotage, increased security around the prisoners. But it was too late. Jinwoo had already reached the prison level. The sight that greeted him there filled him with cold rage. 4 prisoners hung in energy restraints, showing signs of brutal interrogation. His daughter Minji was unconscious, her face swollen from beatings. Private Lee Junho from her security team was barely alive. 2 alien researchers from the station looked broken and terrified. All showed signs of systematic torture. Targets acquired, Jinwoo reported. Moving to extraction. The rescue itself took only minutes. Utek and his team eliminated the guards with silent precision. Dr. Song's medical kit stabilized the worst injuries. Bei Wanho disabled the prison systems, but they didn't stop there. As they carried the prisoners to safety, Jinwoo's team left behind more than just empty cells. They planted evidence of the war crimes where the arbiters would eventually find it. They copied all the facility's data files. They recorded testimony from the prisoners. Most importantly, they made sure General Thrak's operation was exposed. Bei Wanho forced the facility's communication systems to send everything to areas outside the interference zone. The recordings, the evidence, the prisoner testimonies, all of it transmitted to Federation Command before the Vorthak could stop it. The galaxy will know what happened here, Jinwoo promised as they escaped through the canyon. Behind them, the Vorthak facility burned, not destroyed by weapons, but by fear. The soldiers who had tortured innocent beings now understood what it felt like to be hunted by an invisible enemy. General Thrak watched from orbit as his perfect plan collapsed. The crystal interference that was supposed to hide his crimes had become a trap. Now the entire galaxy would see what the Vorthak had done in their moment of imagined freedom. "Sir," his aide reported nervously, "the humans somehow transmitted all our operational data to Federation Command. They know everything." Thrak's claws cut deep grooves in his command chair. The humans had not just rescued their people. They had exposed the entire conspiracy. As the Soul's Pride carried the rescued prisoners away from Kepler 442b, Minji slowly regained consciousness in the medical bay. "Father?" she whispered. Jinwoo took her hand carefully. "I'm here. You're safe now." "The others?" "All rescued. All alive." Minji closed her eyes in relief. "I knew you would come. I kept the beacon active as long as I could." "You did perfectly," Jinwoo said. "Now rest. We're going home." But even as his daughter slept, Jinwoo knew their troubles were far from over. He had violated Federation law to save innocent lives. Soon, he would have to answer for those choices. The question was, would the galaxy understand that sometimes a father's love was more important than any law? 3 weeks later, the entire galaxy was talking about the Kepler incident. The evidence that Bei Wanho had transmitted reached Federation Command and the Arbiters simultaneously. Recordings of systematic torture, plans to create surveillance, dead zones across the galaxy, and proof that General Thrak intended to use the quantum crystals for genocide campaigns against inferior species. But the evidence also showed something else: Commander Park Jinwoo's illegal rescue mission. The Galactic Court faced an unprecedented situation. The Vorthak had committed terrible war crimes, but a Federation officer had broken galactic law to stop them. Both sides would face trial. Ambassador Kang Jiwon prepared humanity's defense in the Great Courthouse on Centauri Prime. She was the Federation's most skilled diplomat, known for her ability to find common ground between different species. "This case will set precedent for centuries," she told Jinwoo before the trial began. "How we handle this will determine how the galaxy deals with future crises." Jinwoo sat in the defendant's chair, wearing his dress uniform but stripped of rank insignia. Across the courtroom, General Thrak and his officers faced charges of war crimes and conspiracy against galactic peace. The arbiter judge was an ancient artificial intelligence, older than most civilizations. Its voice echoed through the chamber, like distant thunder. "The court recognizes the charges. General Thrak, you stand accused of systematic torture, planning genocide, and conspiracy to undermine galactic law. Commander Park, you stand accused of violating Federation military protocol, unauthorized military action, and taking justice into your own hands." The prosecution went first, presenting evidence against both sides. The Vorthak crimes were overwhelming: recordings of torture sessions, plans to eliminate entire species, preparations for galaxy-wide war, but they also showed Jinwoo's team attacking the Vorthak facility, using psychological warfare, and operating outside legal authority. Both defendants violated galactic law, the prosecutor concluded. Both must face justice equally. Ambassador Kang stood to present humanity's defense, but instead of denying the charges, she did something unexpected. "Your Honor, humanity does not deny that Commander Park violated Federation protocol, but we ask the court to consider why he did it." She activated a holographic display showing Minji's beacon signals during her captivity. The stress indicators, the vital signs, the evidence of ongoing torture. A father received distress signals from his daughter. The legal system designed to protect her had failed. The arbiters could not see her suffering. Federation Command could not help her. She was alone in a place where galactic law did not exist. The courtroom was silent as the beacon data played. Even alien species understood the bond between parent and child. Commander Park faced a choice, Kang continued. Follow protocol and let innocent beings suffer and die, or act to save them knowing he would face punishment. She turned to address the full court. This case is not just about one man's actions. It is about what we do when our legal systems fail, when surveillance networks can be defeated, when criminals find ways to operate beyond the reach of justice. The defense called witnesses. Dr. Han Minseo testified about the attack on the research station. The rescued prisoners described their torture. Medical experts explained injuries that would have caused permanent damage or death without intervention, but the most powerful witness was Minji herself. "My father saved my life," she said, simply. But more than that, he saved the lives of innocent researchers who had committed no crime except working for galactic peace. "The Vorthak would have killed us all once they finished their interrogations." She paused, looking directly at the arbiter judge. "If following the law means letting innocent people die while we wait for proper authorization, then the law needs to change." The trial lasted for days. Experts debated legal precedent. Philosophers discussed the nature of justice. Military officers argued about proper protocol. Finally, Ambassador Kang presented humanity's final argument. "Your Honor, humans have a concept that other species may not fully understand: righteous anger. It is not simple rage or violence. It is the moral fury that arises when we see innocence threatened and justice delayed." She gestured toward Jinwoo. "This man spent his career building the laws that govern our galaxy. He believed in those laws. But when they failed to protect his daughter and other innocent beings, he acted on a higher law, the duty to protect those who cannot protect themselves." The arbiter judge deliberated for hours. When it finally spoke, its decision would change galactic law forever. The court finds General Thrak and his co-conspirators guilty of war crimes of the highest order. They will face complete technological quarantine and lifelong imprisonment. The Vorthak section of the courtroom erupted in angry protests, but the judge continued. However, the court also finds that the current legal system contains a dangerous flaw. The ability to create surveillance dead zones could allow any species to commit atrocities beyond the reach of justice. The judge turned toward Jinwoo. "Commander Park violated Federation protocol, but his actions revealed a threat to galactic civilization and saved innocent lives that our system had failed to protect." The courtroom held its breath. Therefore, the court establishes the Jinwoo Doctrine. When surveillance systems fail and war crimes occur in dead zones, affected species may take extraordinary measures for rescue and prevention. Such actions must be reported immediately and will be reviewed, but emergency intervention to save lives is now legally protected. The announcement sent shockwaves through the galaxy. For the first time, galactic law officially recognized that sometimes breaking rules was necessary to serve justice. Jinwoo was restored to full rank and given a new position, Director of Dead Zone Response. His job would be to watch for surveillance, gaps and coordinate rapid response when the normal legal system could not function. General Thrak became the first being executed under expanded war crime statutes. His conspiracy had revealed how vulnerable the galaxy was to determined criminals, but it had also shown that some beings would risk everything to stop them. 6 months later, Minji returned to active duty as a lieutenant commander, leading a new unit dedicated to preventing surveillance dead zones. Her experience as a torture victim gave her unique insight into how criminals operated when they thought no one was watching. Father and daughter served together in the new Dead Zone Response division, ensuring that no one else would have to choose between law and justice. The galaxy learned an important lesson from the Kepler incident. Humans would follow rules and respect laws, but they would never let innocent people suffer while waiting for proper authorization. And sometimes, the most important thing a parent could teach the universe was that some things mattered more than following orders. The righteous anger of a human father had not just saved his daughter, it had made the entire galaxy a safer place for all children, everywhere. Commander Park Jinwoo stood on the bridge of the Federation flagship Harmony's Dawn, watching stars drift past the massive viewing window. 50 years had passed since humans first joined the Galactic Federation. 50 years of peace, trade, and cooperation with alien species from across the galaxy. But peace came with rules, very strict rules. The Universal War Crimes Treaty governed everything. No attacking civilians, no torture, no weapons that caused unnecessary pain, No targeting medical facilities or schools. Break these rules, and the Arbiters would find you. The Arbiters were ancient machines, older than most civilizations in the galaxy. They watched everything through quantum networks that stretched across space. They saw every battle, every military action, every conflict between species. When war crimes happened, they acted fast. First came warnings, then sanctions, then quarantine of entire worlds. In the worst cases, the Arbiters would shut down a species' technology completely. Ships would stop working. Communication would fail. Planets would go dark. Most species learned to fight clean wars. They followed rules. They avoided civilians. They used approved weapons only. War became almost polite. Jinwoo liked the system. As the human representative on the Federation Council, he had helped write many of these laws. Humans were good at making rules that protected innocent people. Other species respected them for this skill. "Commander," called Lieutenant Kim Sujin from her station. "Incoming message from Kepler 442b. Jinwoo smiled. His daughter Minji was stationed there as a squad leader. The research station on Kepler 442b was one of the Federation's proudest achievements. Scientists from 12 different species worked together, studying rare quantum crystals that could power faster than light travel. "Put it through," Jinwoo said. The hologram showed Lieutenant Park Minji in her crisp Federation uniform. She had her father's serious eyes but her mother's gentle smile. At 28, she commanded a reconnaissance squad protecting the research teams. "Hello, Father," Minji said. "Weekly report from Kepler Station. All teams are working well together. The Zentari crystallographers made another breakthrough yesterday. They think they can increase engine efficiency by 30%. Jinwoo nodded proudly. His daughter was professional, even in family calls. "Any security concerns?" "Nothing serious. Some tension between the Vorthak mining crew and the Aquarian researchers over work schedules. But we sorted it out. The Vorthak just needed to understand that Aquarians need water breaks every 2 hours. The mention of Vorthak made Jinwoo frown slightly. The reptilian species had joined the Federation only 10 years ago. They were warriors by nature, proud and aggressive. Many still resented taking orders from other species, especially humans. "Keep watching them," Jinwoo said quietly. "Vorthak respects strength, but they test boundaries." "I know, Father. Everything is under control here." After the call ended, Jinwoo remained on the bridge thinking. The galaxy was peaceful now, but peace was fragile. It required constant work. Dr. Chen Yuna, the ship's xenobiologist, joined him at the window. She was one of the few humans who had studied Vorthak culture extensively. "Worried about something?" she asked. "Always," Jinwoo replied. "The Vorthak Empire has been quiet lately. Too quiet. Maybe they're finally accepting Federation ways." Jinwoo shook his head. "Vorthak don't change that easily. In their culture, showing weakness brings shame. Following human-made laws feels like weakness to them." Across the galaxy, on the Vorthak homeworld, General Thrak stood before a holographic star, map in his private chamber. His scaled skin was dark green, marked with the scars of many battles. His yellow eyes focused on one particular system, Kepler 442b. "The quantum crystals," he hissed to his aide, Major Vex. "They disrupt communication networks. Our tests confirm this." "Yes, General. But the Arbiters monitor the research station constantly. Any aggressive action would trigger immediate response." Thrak's mouth curved in what might have been a smile. What if the Arbiters could not see? What if their quantum networks failed in that sector? Major Vex's eyes widened. The crystals could block their surveillance. More than block, they could create a dead zone, a place where the Arbiters are blind. Thrak's claws clicked against the table. A place where old laws do not apply. The Vorthak general had spent months studying the War Crimes Treaty, looking for weaknesses. The Arbiters were powerful, but they depended on their networks. Cut those networks, and the galaxy's police force became deaf and blind. "What are you planning, General?" A test. If we can operate without arbiter interference, we can return to true warfare. No rules, no restrictions. The strong survive, and the weak serve. Thrak had never forgotten the shame of surrender. 10 years ago, the Vorthak Empire had been forced to join the Federation after losing a war with the Alliance. They had to accept human laws, human rules, human ideas about right and wrong. But Vorthak had different ideas about right and wrong. Strength was right. Victory was right. Everything else was weakness. Gather a strike team, Thrak ordered. Unmarked ships, untraceable, weapons. We will test these crystals properly. Back on Harmony's dawn, Jinwoo finished his daily reports and headed to his quarters. The ship operated on Earth time, and it was evening by that schedule. He kept a photo of his wife and daughter on his desk. His wife had died 5 years ago, in a transport accident. Minji was all the family he had left. The quantum communicator on his desk chimed softly. A personal message from Minji, sent through the family's private channel. Father, I wanted to tell you something funny. The Zentari scientist, Dr. Kex, tried human coffee today. His fur turned bright purple. Apparently, caffeine affects their species differently than ours. Don't worry, he's fine. Just purple for a few days. Jinwoo smiled. His daughter always shared these small moments with him. It helped them stay close despite the vast distances of space. He recorded a reply. Purple Zentari sounds interesting. Make sure someone takes pictures for the cultural exchange database. And Minji, be careful out there. Trust your instincts. Always do, Father. Love you. Love you too. Jinwoo sent the message and prepared for sleep. In a few hours, the Harmony's dawn would reach the neutral zone for a diplomatic meeting with Andorian ambassadors. Just another day of keeping the peace in a galaxy full of different species with different ideas about how to live. He did not know that at that very moment, General Thrak's unmarked ships were entering the Kepler system. He did not know that quantum crystals were being positioned around the research station. He did not know that his daughter's world was about to become very dangerous. The Arbiter's quantum networks hummed with their usual efficiency, monitoring thousands of worlds across the galaxy. But in the Kepler system, strange interference patterns were beginning to form. The ancient machines noticed the anomaly, but classified it as natural phenomena. After all, who would be foolish enough to challenge the system that had brought peace to the galaxy? General Thrak smiled as his ships took position around Kepler 442b. Soon he would have his answer. Soon he would know if the old ways could return. And on the research station below, Lieutenant Park Minji continued her evening patrol, unaware that the rules of war were about to change.